What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm according to the Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Pius Inalalobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And
What's up?
we are talking about something a little bit different than we normally do. But Bellator, the first big Bellator of the year, we've got a double title fight. I mean, similar to what we just saw with Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane in the UFC, we got with Bellator because we actually have Ryan Bader defending his heavyweight championship against Valentin Moldavsky, and Moldavsky also has a version of the Bellator championship, and he basically earning that when Ryan Bader was defending and unfortunately got defeated for the Bellator light heavyweight championship, because during that time of McGregor and everybody was like, I want to be double champion and blah, 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 whatever. Bader's like, yeah, let me do that, and knock out Fedor and all that jazz. So he ended up becoming the light. Actually, he was like 3 championships of Bellator lineage. He had the light heavyweight, the heavyweight, and the heavyweight Grand Prix. So
Right.
So
The
he
Grand
actually
Prix,
had 3.
that's true.
Right, absolutely. So he actually had 3 titles in Bellator. But yeah, man, it's a wild time. This is Bellator's first show of 2020, and it's off with a banger. And you can catch this on Showtime if you haven't. I haven't. This one is worth the price of admission.
Definitely. I look forward to checking out these new prospects.
Yeah.
Bellator brings a different flavor.
Mm-hmm.
They got their own lane that they stick to. I like that. They're doing their thing, and we about to get into it. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting off. You were talking about prospects. That's pretty apropos, because in the 205-pound division, we have 2-0 Sullivan Cauley, who he trains with Ryan Bader out there in Arizona. Which, funny enough, this fight card taking place in Arizona. I believe it's Phoenix. Yes, that's right. It's going to be in Phoenix. So this is kind of a Bader, kind of a Bader heavy card where, yes, he's defending his championship, or, unifying the heavyweight title, so to speak. But also he's got a lot of his gym colleagues in here with him on this card, and Sullivan Cauley is one of them. So there's not too much of Sully's career that we could go over, but this gentleman starts his MMA career in the year of 2018, where he actually fights in a Tough Enough in Vegas. That's where he makes his MMA debut as an amateur. Then he went to WFC. That is a promotion that travels here, there, wherever you are, as Celine Dion says, and My Heart Girl Go On. But he fights in actually WC events, WFC events in State Line, Nevada, right? That was his second MMA fight in total, but that was like amateur. Then he fights in WFC 95, WFC 100, and then he returns to Tough Enough, where he unfortunately loses via unanimous decision, and then rounding out his amateur career on the Arizona circuit, he basically fights at Rough MMA 36, where he KOs James Gomez, right? And this gentleman, maybe because of the Bellator, the Bellator tie-in with Ryan Bader, who Bader not only multiple time champion consecutively, but also one of the commentators there at Bellator. He makes his professional debut at Bellator 253, in fact, with the first round KO of Jason Markland, and then hits another KO at Bellator's 268 against Dion Clash. Right, so this is his first fight. I mean, first fight of 2022, but third fight for Bellator.
Hmm. Yes, indeed, indeed. So I'm looking at this lineup here, and Ben Parrish seems to be of the grappling or submission uh, dominant type individual. And then we have Sullivan, who seems to be more of a striker because when you look at his record, it's all knockouts, or it's kill or be killed with him. He's either going to destroy you or you destroy him, and he doesn't lose very often, as you can see. As a professional, he's 2-0. So I'm also looking at both of them. Parrish doesn't look to be in the best shape. I think it's a major indicator of performance. It's not the gospel truth, but usually bet on the other guy that's shredded. So I'm gonna pick Sullivan Poirier to win this one, maybe by decision.
Now, it's pretty interesting that you equate the body type because we have seen in past guys like Daniel Cormier, Fedor
Tyson Fury.
Emelianenko, right, Tyson Fury, as guys that might have fully entrenched dad bods, right? And
Hmm.
those when those guys win, all the fat guys unite. You're like, I look like him. Whoa, yeah, right up, right. But I mean, do you think that that helps or hurts a fighter early on in their career, in your opinion?
um, I think the more body weight that is dropped, the better, especially fat. You know what I mean? Um, uh, it's a dangerous thing to go in that cage, and to me, if you're carrying body fat like that and you're fighting, I don't think you've given it everything that it needs. I think there's another level you can hit, you know? So that's my take on it.
I like it. Everybody's got an opinion. It's just, yeah, again, for me, it's just wild because a perfect fighter, in terms of there is I think there's almost no such thing as a perfect fighter. You can be a world champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. You could be a KO artist. You could look like you've been carved from granite, and you can look like you've been you know out there eating Milky Ways and ding dongs and what have you. And you could be a champion, or you could be a schlub.
True.
You could be somebody who knocks around heads in the gym and then can't turn it on when the bright lights go up, and or vice versa. There's so much, right? There's so many little nuances, intricate and finite nuances to the sport of MMA, right? Martial
Mhm.
arts in general, but definitely the sport of MMA. That again, it's still, I mean, I'm very much a fan, and it's intriguing as shit to me.
Mhm. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes,
So, which one of these two dudes do you pick, though?
I'm gonna go with fat guy. I mean,
Okay.
I know, and I'm sorry I call you fat Ben Parrish. Um, no, but I'm a biggie. I'm a big
Okay.
boy. A big little guy. So
This.
I want that guy to win. Now, mind you, Bellator. Nothing against Bellator, but
Right.
uh, one could make an argument that they do have favorable fights
Yeah.
to people that they were trying to push, very
Yep.
similar to that of the early onset careers of a lot of boxers, right? Where you get
Mhm.
favorable fights, build up a
Mhm.
decent record, and then become a world beater. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule, as we saw in AJ McKee in his
Mhm.
division. I'm sorry, nothing against Volk, and learn not to pick against Volkanovski again. He's a lot more personable and what have you. But for my money, AJ McKee is the best in that fucking division in the world. You know, you
Yeah.
put him against fuck. You have him and Holloway. That's gonna be doing gangbusters. Him and fucking Volkanovski, especially after Volkanovski's last win, who, I mean, he looked the fucking best. You know, and yeah, but you know, in the auspices of the UFC essentially being the best place for, you know, top tier mixed martial arts talent, well, there's one that's fucking slipped away, and that's AJ McKee.
Yeah, the good thing is AJ McKee is still very young.
Mm-hmm.
He's just hopping into his prime. He hasn't even really started yet. AJ McKee hasn't even really started yet. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes deep. You know what I'm saying? The young man is still growing. You know, he's still in his 145-pound body.
Yeah,
This is how you know it's just the beginning. He's gonna fill in, and then he's gonna move on to 55, and then you're gonna see a terror.
yeah,
That's what's gonna happen. Like Charles Oliveira. Remember Charles Oliveira used to be really
yep,
skinny,
uh huh,
and then he filled in. Then he filled in. Now he's a 55 champion, and that's how
mm-hmm.
it goes. AJ McKee is on the path just like that,
Yep,
just like that. You know, he's unpredictable. The unpredictability in his striking makes him unique, and that's why he's champion. And I say, if he was to come to the UFC, five immediately within two fights, he gets a title shot because in his own right, he's a champion.
yeah,
If not an immediate title shot, you know what
agreed.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
The kid is good. It is what it is.
it
We gotta
is.
call a spade, and
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say about that.
there it is. There it is. And the consistent Takeo Pal saying, hey guys, horse you, but I'm here. Hashtag number one fan. No, we appreciate the heck out of you. And yeah, of voodoo.
What's
Is
up?
yeah, there you go. Absolutely love that you're jumping on. But speaking of jumping on, we have the second fight of this card. We have Ben
Yeah.
Lugo 5-4 against the undefeated Lucas Brennan, right? Uh you know, Lugo is coming out of top notch MMA, which I've never heard of until right now. Um,
Mm.
but he Justin J Train Gonzalez, the former LFA champion, trains out of there. That is the only kind of notable person outside of Ben Lugo. Like
Mm.
those are the top two. Ben Vom Brauer, I've never heard of the gentleman. So yeah, uh, they're top notch, I guess. Right on. But
Mm.
this one kind of feels like a setup because Lucas Brennan, even though Lugo is a 9 fight veteran,
Yeah.
Skywalker is a perfect 5-0, and you know he is, you know, he isn't. I mean, you know, to the ladies, he might be, you know, easy on the eye, right? Tons of
Yeah.
personality, and if
Yeah.
you're Scott Coker, the matchmakers at Bellator, you're like, hey, there, you know, you see what we've done with AJ McKee. It was a slow burn. Let him simmer. We might have something with Lucas Brennan as well, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus Christ, I
Yeah.
I'm going with the Skywalker, man, Lucas Brennan, because I mean nothing against Ben Lugo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. This one kind of feels like this is Lucas Brennan's a fight to win.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon the pun.
Hey, man, it is what it is. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna go against perfection, man. 5-0 is 5-0. It
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. 5-0 is better than 5-4. It is what it is. So
Yeah,
yes, there is an experience factor, but I don't care. I'm
yeah,
going with Lucas Brennan as well.
yeah. That's a unanimous pick here. And
Hmm
Takea says, "Oh, you two Woods. Oh, you know what? You get Mario Yamasaki's from me. Uh, and I'm sorry. I'm tired. I didn't mean to write that word. Sorry. Nah, you're good. It's no, man. We could have favorites. I mean, I might have my favorite kid, and I'm not gonna tell anyone that. But you know, it's just you know, I got my favorite puppy. I'm just saying. I don't tell the other puppy that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. But yes, uh, going from Lucas Brennan and Ben Lugo, this
Mhm.
is interesting, right? Because
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
if it isn't, if it isn't, you know, the teammates of one Ryan Darth Bader, it seems like it's the teammates of the other gent who's the interim
Mhm,
champion,
mhm,
Valentin Moldovsky, right?
mhm,
Because you have Blaine the Shutdown Shut. I love that
mhm,
name. He worked his last name
mhm.
into his fight name. I like it. But
Yeah.
and he's going against Nikita Mikhailev, right?
Mm,
And Mikhailev, man, 8-1, almost a damn undefeated record, right?
right.
Um, and this is a guy who spent a large part of his career at Fight Nights Global, which kind of leads me to believe he might be one of those Russian cats that trains with Fedor Emelianenko.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
you know, if not
mhm,
Moldovsky himself, right? So,
mhm, mhm.
ooh, I mean, I'm
This,
not saying I'm not saying that the other gent doesn't have a fucking chance in the shutdown, but I
yeah.
I almost feel like this is where Blaine shut down moniker actually works
Mhm.
against him because I think the Russian is going to just shut him down.
a it's a case of a striker in the Russian versus the grappler in Blink Shuts. Um, there's a high probability that this Russian fella has very good wrestling, at least decent enough wrestling to defend against a takedown or a guard shoot.
Right?
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll be able to keep the fight standing. And since he's a striker, he's going to strike the bejesus out of Mr. Shutdown. Hence, shutting down Mr. Shutdown.
Right.
Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a KO in the second round.
You know what? It's funny, right? Because the Russians, they are known, that whole kind of Eastern Bloc, they're known for
Mhm,
their wrestling, right? And I
mhm,
mean, Nikita definitely has his fair share of unanimous decisions, right? But way
mhm,
back in 2016 at Steel Battle, he did um, KO in like literally 30 seconds of the first round, Petor Birko, right? So
mhm,
he
mhm,
does have that capability. I would love nothing more than to see a wrestle heavy Russian, just go out there and fucking throw hands. I mean, I'm again, I'm not in this particular instance.
mhm,
That CTE that I always talk about and what have
mhm,
you. You can fucking put that shit on the back burner is what I'm saying,
mhm,
because
mhm,
just like we saw with Francis Ngannou last week, where we like, oh,
mhm,
it's gonna be a fucking KO, and he fucking
mhm,
flips the script
mhm.
on all of us, right? So expect the unexpected, right? So let's get wild. I like that.
Mhm.
So what round does it happen, Voodoo?
I
That
think
KO
second, man. Second.
second? Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there as well. 100%.
Mhm,
Yeah. And it says, you guys make me laugh. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to
mhm.
see you, sis. Like, you're awesome. And anybody that doesn't tell you you're awesome, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah.
they're not on the right frequency, is what I'm saying. Oh yeah. Um, yeah. So
Dig it.
that is dig it. Yeah. Yes. So dig it that Blaine is getting shut down by Nikita. Um, right on. I like it. Now this one is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
In the 185-pound division, we have Dwayne. I hope the Rock Johnson. Yes, not the one that you all know and love. Another one. This is. I mean, if you wanted Goldberg, this guy is definitely Gilbert. He's definitely Gilbert, man. 185. I think one of the Rock's biceps is 185 pounds. You know, it's okay, man. I mean, good. I mean, if you got the name, literally the name of Dwayne Johnson, fucking roll that fucking dice, motherfucker. Good, kudos, man. Kudos on you. Now, here's the crazy thing about Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He comes out of the disorderly conduct gym in Omaha, Nebraska, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so nothing to speak of, but the people that he kind of has in his camp. Look at this guy, Alonzo AAA Martinez,
Yeah.
like 47, 23, and 1. These fuckers fight forever. Like fucking fans at the Tokyo Dome during Wrestle Kingdom fight forever. These 47 and 23, this shit is like in Dan Severn levels of fucking competition. This is fucking wild. And then you go to the next one down the line. It's fucking wild. Matt MFD Delanoy, 27 and 14 with one no contest. Ryan, are you ready? Roberts, 21, 12, 1, and 1. Fucking hell. These guys just fight forever.
Straight up.
Holy shit.
Fight
Oh,
every
man.
month.
I
Fight every
mean,
month.
for real though, it's yeah. So that is Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? On the other side of the docket, we have one Dalton Rosa, undefeated Dalton Hercules Rosa. Jesus Christ, this motherfucker looks like that those myostatin inhibited cows. You know those big ass buff cows that look like they're on roids. That's what this
Hey,
fucking guy looks like.
hey, he looks like Hercules.
He does
He looks like
legitimately,
Hercules.
legitimately.
Hey,
Fucking hell.
he straight comes to smash. All he does is smash. Smash. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Hey, he's not dominating you completely. Doctor stoppage, ground and pound, knee injury, you know, knockout, knockout, knockout. Did not answer the bell. He beat him so bad, he didn't want to come fight anymore. This is what this guy brings to the table, and he's gonna be
Yeah.
going in there against The Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for me to
Yes.
go against perfection, man. It's hard for me to
No,
go
you're
against
right.
perfection. Dwayne Johnson is a complete fighter. He's got submission finishes. He's got knockout finishes. Uh, I'm not going against the Hercules. I think Hercules can break a rock. That's what I think. Hercules
No,
can break a rock, and he's gonna stop him no later than the second round.
I like it. And you know what's even crazier about Hercules, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Dalton Rosa actually has a win in the amateurs against one Cody Brundage, who's in the UFC right now as we speak, and had a
There
pretty
you
good
go.
pretty good showing out in
Mm-hmm.
the Dana White Contender Series, and
Mm-hmm.
is of the Factory X Muay Thai gym, down
Mm-hmm.
there in Colorado, right under Mark
Mm-hmm.
Montoya, and
Mm-hmm.
they've been fucking kicking all types of shit. Brundage, obviously our guy Royval, right,
Mm-hmm.
the Raw Dog and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he beat Cody Brundage in amateurs and KOs him, shit me, dude. Yeah,
Saying
Dalton
something.
Rosa. Dalton
He's
Rosa,
a
man.
he's an assassin.
I
Dalton
think so.
Rosa, Rasta, or whatever, Justin Rasta. He's an assassin.
Dusty Wrestler. That Dusty Wrestler. Hercules Dusty Wrestler. That one. I'm gonna go
That's
for
the
that
one.
one. That's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
It's
Let's
the one,
go.
Billy Gunn. Um,
Yeah.
but speaking of the one, holy shit, 6-1. Chris Gonzalez goes up against that's CG Gonzalez to you,
Hmm.
training out of Team Alpha Male. He was a former Bellator bantamweight champion, right?
Mm.
Up until that fucking loss in the the super fight. We had Goto Yamaguchi against who was the risen fucking champion, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And or am I remembering that right? I
I
want to
believe
say
so.
wait, no, that can't be right because it says that Goatee. Oh no, that was that weird fucking the weird strike, the weird strike in that fucking him and Goatee Yamaguchi. That fucking
He lost,
I
right?
yeah. Obviously he lost, but the way that
Hmm.
fucking Goaty got him, it was like it was a viral clip. I can't
Mm.
remember what the fuck it was, but it was something wild, almost like the fucking Sergio Pettis, you know.
Mm.
But
Mm.
if Chris Gonzalez CG wanted to run at the Bellator title, I
Mm.
mean, you kind of have to start at your former champions, which
Mm.
he's doing at
Mm.
this current incarnation of Bellator because he's going up against Saad Awad.
Mm.
Saad, 24-13-0. Again, former Bellator world champion, training out
Mm.
of Rancho Cucamonga at Millennia
Mm. Mm.
MMA. Um, man, he's been in there with the likes of Paul Daly, Godi
Mm.
Yamaguchi, Benson Henderson, Ryan Couture, JJ
Mm.
Ambrose, Zach Freeman, Brendan Ward. Talk about a former champion there. Patricky Pitbull,
Mm.
Evangelista Santos, Cyborg's
Mm. Mm.
ex-husband.
Cyborg.
He,
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
Mm.
I mean, Ill Will Brooks, Dave the
Mm.
Caveman
Mm.
Rickles. We're talking about like the old school on MTV2
Mm.
days
Mm.
of Bellator when Dave Rickles
Mm.
used to come out with the fucking Flintstone car and shit
Mm.
like that. Like fun
Hey,
shit,
hey,
man.
you know who else is on this list? Nam Fam. Shout out to Nam
Nam
Fam.
fam,
Nam
holy
Fam's on
shit.
this list. For
Yeah, he
real.
is. Wow.
Way back
And
in 2008.
yeah. And then also because he spent so much of his time, right, in Bellator and is a
Hmm.
former Bellator champion, but you gotta remember he was back on the Ultimate Fighter season 16.
Mm.
So he
Mm.
did have a short run in the in the UFC, right? An
Mm.
exhibition match. But still, man, like he's Sadawad has been in there with some of the best to ever do it.
Yep.
Um, Jesus Christ, man, he's a legend. He's a the assassin is a legend. You can't tell me any fucking different. And one of the
Hmm.
nicest guys ever. Like
Hmm.
he's so good, so good. Um, God, this one I'm torn, right? Because
Hmm.
Chris Gonzalez before Goatee was undefeated, right?
Hmm.
But look at the
Hmm.
fucking experience of Sadawad, man. And the same argument could be made on both
Hmm.
fighters, right? Because you're
Hmm.
like, oh, Chris Gonzalez is so great. He just lost one fight, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
again,
He got
Sadawad
caught.
is right. He got caught, right?
Hmm.
Sadawad, great fighter. You can't
Hmm.
get to 24-3 with one world title,
Hmm.
and and at this, I mean, yes, he's 38, which is young normally, but in
Hmm.
fight years, it's fucking you gazillion. And he
Hmm.
fucking knocked out Nate Andrews in his last fucking fight,
Hmm.
first round.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like Sadawad still has what it takes to be one of the best in Bellator, right? If
Hmm.
not the world, man. I'm nothing against um the Chris Gonzalez, right? This is a
Hmm.
battle of California, a team Millennium MMA of the Southern California against Team Alpha Male of the North in Sacramento. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with. I reside in Southern California, even though I was born in Northern California. I'm going with Sadawad.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, like you said, man, the Chris Gonzalez, a win for him will be great for his career because of the experience factor
Yeah,
that Awad is bringing to the table. Awad has the most to lose in this matchup. You know, he's going in there against a young buck, but an experienced young buck. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's used to winning. He's coming off a loss, so he's gonna want to get that back, especially against a Saad Awad. So
yeah.
um, it's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go 50-50 on with you on this one, man.
Okay,
I'll go Chris Gonzalez. I
okay.
think I think even though Saad is the veteran and more established,
Right.
I think this kid is gonna he's got a desire more than Saad. Saad is going in to win a match. This kid
Yeah.
wants a spot at the table. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah, that I think he's gonna push a little bit more based on that, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what I love about the sport. One of the many things that I
Hmm.
love about the sport is like we'll
Hmm.
see. Everything can change by the time the
Hmm.
cage tour or the Bellator cage. Shout out to Michael C. Williams, the
Hmm.
voice of Bellator.
Hmm.
Until that fucking cage door closes, anything can happen. And once it
That's
does
right.
close, another fucking pantheon of things can happen. So again, I absolutely love it. But you
Mm-hmm.
got Chris Gonzalez, I got the assassin Sadawad, and we will see on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
who wins. Just saying. Uh,
Most deaf.
Absolutely. But speaking of like experience, man, Enrique Barzola, right? El
Uh-huh.
Fuerte, right? Training out of American Kickboxing Academy,
The,
better known as AKA, right? This is actually his UFC debut. I mean, Bellator debut after that draw with Ronnie
absolutely.
Yaya
Mm-hmm.
um, back in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is his debut, but
Mm-hmm.
man, the deck is stacked because he's got the Wolf, former Bellator bantamweight champion Darion Caldwell, out
Mm-hmm.
of Jesus. Oh, it looks like Caldwell is trading out of Stanford. Oh shit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously, Jesus Christ.
New Jersey.
He was there in the Inland Empire with those the team that has Jesus Christ, Bobby Green and Kevin Holland and
Mm.
um God, what's his? I have his face in his. I mean, my Pinnacle, Pinnacle. He
Mm.
was training out of
Mm.
Pinnacle in the IE. Um, Also, Jamal Emmers, the pretty boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like he's moved down to South Florida with Henry Hoops and Sanford, training with fucking Chandler and all them. Like
Mm.
that's wild. That's wild. But again, he's a former champion, not having trained there. And for a time, um, Gary Caldwell during his time at Pinnacle,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Bainey, shout out to Jacob Bainey, the head coach. They would cross train with CSW, right? And Ben
Mm.
Jones. So that's a wealth of experience in not just Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but catch wrestling, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fucking purveyor of. I love it, right? Catch
Yeah.
wrestling, that fucking dirt, like fucking face lock shit and nasty
Yeah.
ass knee bars and arm bars and gravis and shit and whatever, double wrist locks all day. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that all being said, he's taking that to South Florida and,
Mm-hmm.
improving his striking with Henry Hooft, a trainer of
Mm-hmm.
many world champions. God, that's so good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
shit, me, dude. I'm going with the Wolf on this one.
Okay, okay. I'll get you a 50-50 split on this one.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, well, what's that Javier Mendez gym called again?
Yeah,
AKA,
AKA, AKA.
AKA. The fact that they get to work with those Dagestani boys, it's a it's
Yeah,
a
that
it's a
too.
huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage against Americans. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is why I feel it's worthy of a 50-50 split. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So yeah.
you're absolutely right. But
Hmm.
and you speak about kind of an international flavor, right?
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
that's exactly what Calder. I mean, if what the topology says is true, and he's
Hmm.
training at Sanford, right? Well, you
Hmm.
got Henry Hoofs, who's got that fucking Dutch style kickboxing.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you got
But
fucking Dagestani wrestling versus Dutch kickboxing. This is the type of shit that makes me a fucking fan, right? This
and,
is Styles make fans fights
yeah,
to the umpteenth
yeah,
degree. Like I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what the fuck is gonna happen. Like we're making our
yeah,
picks, but I really don't know. I'm fucking intrigued as fuck. Fuck, I
yeah.
got goosebumps. This is
Th-
nuts.
this is gonna be a mixed martial arts fight. Whoever has the better scrambles is gonna win this particular fight. Um, I don't think it's gonna be settled in the striking sphere. It's gonna be in the clinch. It's gonna
Yeah.
be, you know what I mean. It's gonna be in the clinch. It's gonna be taking them to the ground and grinding them out. Type. Can you stand back up if you're a striker? It's gonna be that kind of thing. We'll see. We'll see. But I'll go Enrique Barzola on this one.
Okay. I like
Hmm.
it, man. I like it. And I like it. You presented a very plausible fucking argument that I didn't even
Hmm.
kind of take into account. So I appreciate
Hmm.
I appreciate the fuck for schooling me on this one
Hmm.
because that's a whole dimension that I didn't even fucking think of. God, I'm so like I'm gonna. This might be a fucking fight of the night, man. Like
Might be. Might be. Yeah.
this is very good.
Hmm.
This is tremendous. This is again. I got goosebumps fucking talking about it because this is the type of shit that again it just intrigues me. I like the fact I don't know the fucking answer. Like I'm picking
Hmm.
Caldwell. I've
Hmm.
interviewed him in the past. I've been fortunate enough
Hmm.
to do so.
Hmm.
Great guy, and again, Henry Hoof. But fuck that Dagestani wrestling and Dutch kickboxing. You got to remember, fucking Javier Mendez is a fucking Muay Thai kickboxing legend
Champion.
in his own right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. Ah, this is
Hmm.
so good. This is so fucking good, man. I'm excited for this fight. Jesus Christ. Woo,
hey,
woo, buddy,
hey,
man.
you know that guy? You know that guy? Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ. Good God.
We love
Yeah,
you,
that guy.
God.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Servant, Mike Servant, Mike Servant is his name. Mike Servant. Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ. Hell yes.
We love you,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's what I got.
Power of
Breakdance.
God.
Yeah. Be quiet. There we go. 10 points.
Shout out to Mike
Yeah.
Servant. Shout out to Mike Servant.
Yeah, man. And his tattoos on the face. You know how I love those, right? Um, Anywho, we got in the main card, we have the 15-3 Jaleel Willis, right? Jaleel, the
Mhm.
realest Willis. And he is going up against Sabahu Masi. And again, this one also could be fight of the night. Now,
Mm.
Willis, cut his teeth in LFA, extensive career in LFA, as well as a run in the World Series of Fight, the
Mm.
precursor to PFL, right? The Professional
Mhm.
Fighters League.
Mhm.
Um, it's been in there with Omar Johnson, Kyle Stewart, um, Harvey Park, Dakota Bush. Remember Dakota
Mhm.
Harry
Yeah,
Bush
I remember
over in the
him.
UFC, right?
Mhm.
James
Mhm.
Warfield Lane.
Mhm.
Um, Jesus Christ. Been in there with Michael Mendonca.
Mhm.
I believe Macon is a former LFA champion, right?
Mm.
And kind of so I mean he's been in there with some top tier talent,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Now, unfortunately, his record going against Russian fellows isn't so great because he lost to Magomed Berkamov um, back at Bellator 268 via
Mhm.
guillotine choke, right?
Mhm.
Now
Mhm.
he's facing Sabah Humasi, who's 15 and 10. The Sleek Sheik has a
Mm.
professional fighting career, literally 25 fights deep, training out of
Mm.
American Top Team. Fortunately, the record hasn't been too kind to him. Paul Simtic's Daily KOs him at Bellator 257 in April of last year, and then Andrei Korshkov, um, he basically beat him by unanimous decision, right? But
Mhm.
before that, Sabah Homasi beat KO'd Bobby Volker, beat Curtis Melender via unanimous decision. Um, so he's been in there with some awesome fucking people in his own right, but
Mhm. Mhm.
Jesus Christ. Jaleel, the realist, man, I think is, and this is nothing against Sabah Homasi, right? But he's got a lot less damage, because Sabah is coming in with almost a 50-50 record, right?
Mhm.
And I,
Mhm.
you know, um, yeah, I got Jaleel on this one. It's gonna be a unanimous decision, but it's gonna be Jaleel unless
Mhm.
Jaleel fucking finds his chin and makes Sabah Homasi go night night. Kind of
I see.
yeah.
I see a vicious stoppage in a second. Vicious.
Really,
I see a mauling.
really
Yeah.
okay.
I see Jaleel being extremely fast and overrunning
Okay,
his opponent, just running them clean over
I like where you're going.
in the second round.
Okay,
I also choose Jaleel.
okay. No, that's a consensus pick. It's just how it happens is a little bit
Mhm.
different. Rita says, I mean, now that you say it, it makes a little bit more sense. But I'm gonna stick to my guns and say unanimous decision. But
And
I I'm absolutely I'm not gonna lie. I think your
hey,
scenario is a little bit more real.
hey, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're all theories until these men get in that cage and
Yeah,
proves that,
abs-
whatever strategy will be effective, we will see on that very day. But
exactly.
all we can do is speculate.
Hmm. Yep, speculate. Now, speaking of speculation, man, this one is different. This one feels a little bit different because we've got the
Mhm.
Englishman, Aiden Lee, right?
Mhm.
Aiden
Mhm.
Lee, who is a veteran of Cage Warriors and the
Okay.
Bellator European Series, right?
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, oh fuck, he's got a win over Ludwig Klein, who's in the
Hey.
UFC. Finished Ludwig back at
Mhm.
Cage Warriors 87, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Sal Rogers, that is a if you follow Bellator, that's a pretty decent name. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, Aiden losing that effort lost to Aaron Pico via Anaconda choke, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so that's him. Now we got Henry OK Corrales, right? Um, Corrales, even though he lives in Arizona now, he
Mhm.
is very much a Southern California and specifically Orange County,
Mhm.
California guy, training out of De La O Jiu Jitsu with John De La O and the rest of the Jim Crashers family, like Robert
Hello.
and Dondo.
Oh.
Yeah. And who could forget that vicious fucking KO that Henry basically
Pico.
administered, yeah, to Aaron Pico that fucking went
Mhm.
viral. And again,
Mhm.
that's one thing about a Corrales, right? You
Mhm.
can never say that he, has tin cans, right?
Mhm. Hey, we were
You,
there for that match. We were there in the arena for
yeah,
that match.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm. I
But
remember
uh,
seeing you.
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that was at the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood,
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
That
Ryan
was a
Lilly was
crazy.
on that card. Ryan Lilly was on
Yes,
that
he
card.
was. Yes, he was. You know, but this is this is actually fun, right? Because shout out to Carlos Ramirez, the current matchmaker of Lights Out Extreme Fighting and formerly CXF, because
Mhm.
uh, he Carlos actually started out matchmaking, uh,
Mhm.
and that promotion that he match made for that him and his brother put together was Long Beach
Mhm.
Fight Night, and
Mhm.
Henry Corrales was on the first two incarnations of Long Beach Fight Night, and that is, if you were there, you know what's up, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that is sometimes that kind of are looked back very fondly for people who attended. So that's awesome. But wins over rest in peace Cooper Gibson back in 2013 at King of the Cage Validation. He's been in there with Daniel Strauss, former world champion, Emmanuel Sanchez, fucking
Mhm.
great fighter, Patricio Pitbull, Cody
Mhm.
Bollinger, Node
Mhm.
Lot. That's two UFC, Cody Bollinger and Node Lot, former UFC competitors. Georgie Karakian, who
Mhm.
is a jiu-jitsu ace, right? Fucking been in there
Mhm.
with Pico, beat Pico, as we said. Been in there with former world champions Darren Caldwell and current champion Juan the Spaniard Archuleta, right?
Mhm.
Went in there with fucking Johnny Campbell after Johnny Campbell's, basically becoming viral because the fight before this, Johnny Campbell damn near fucking has his cauliflower ear torn
Mhm.
off. Shout out to Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. But yeah, man, you can't say that Henry Corrales the fucking ducks and dodges fucking fights, man, because this dude is in it, we win it, and just beat Vladislav Parubenko.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
going with. At
Mhm.
Bellator 268 in
Mhm.
October of last year. But he faces Aiden Lee. I got Henry Corrales. I mean, that dude's a friend. That's a good brother. Treated me with nothing but love. That whole what is it? The fucking scrum right before the Julia Budd Chris Cyborg fight at the Forum, right? And that was pretty cool. Got to be on the Paramount lot and whatever. And Henry Corrales and fucking Jacob Parga of Iridium was just so nice, so
Mhm.
kind. Made sure we
Mhm.
got the rounds and everything. Me and Robert from Gym Crashers. So again, fucking Henry Corrales. That's home team. I mean, he's in
Hey
Arizona now,
man,
but
straight up.
he's home team.
Hey, I like Henry Corrales.
Yeah,
I remember him when I was in the amateurs. I used to see him a lot on Instagram. I like the way he fights. He's straight
yeah,
up with it. You know, he brings it. He brings entertainment, and that's what I'm looking for.
yeah,
He is definitely a complete fighter. So I have no problem picking home team on this one too, man. Henry
yeah,
Corrales,
yeah, man.
candidate for fight of the night.
This could be because I don't think that Aiden Lee is going to go down easy. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't see that.
he's gonna be a very good boxer.
Yeah,
Corrales is a good boxer too. So let's
yeah, he
see
is.
that British boxing versus that Mexican boxing. What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
What's up? Let's go. I want to see it.
yeah, fuck, man. And I mean, some of the that boxing coming from Bruce, who trained out of John De La O's De La O Jiu Jitsu for many years before he unfortunately passed away right before COVID. So some of that, that boxing prowess that
Mm-hmm.
Bruce essentially administered lives through Henry Corrales right now and has been refined out there in Arizona with
Mm-hmm.
Fight Ready MMA. The
Mm-hmm.
Fight Ready with all the creepy short guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
that Fight Ready. No, we kid. Even though Arsaban is fucking creepy, um, I'm saying that, but the video's not saying that. That he's fucking creepy, but he creates winners. He creates champions. So can't can't. I'm not mad at it, man. But this one is the co-main event of the evening. We have 21-1 Islam Magomedov, right, going against former UFC champion Benson Smooth Henderson. Now, in
Mhm.
terms of Islam Mamedov, right, beat former Bellator champion Brett Primus, the Primal Primus, right? Uh, and then spent a lot of his career. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of his career, but yeah, at least two fights of his career in the PFL, Professional Fighters League, fighting at
Mhm.
PFL 5 and actually 2, 5, 8, and 9. All right,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
having one fight in UAE, United Arab Emirates Warriors
Mhm.
14, before moving
Mhm.
on to Bellator,
Mhm.
where first fight in Bellator, he fights and beats a former world champion in his first fight. That's
Mhm.
something fucking special, right?
Mhm.
Now we go to Smooth, who, I mean, almost doesn't need a fucking introduction, but because of what he's done, he is unfortunately one who lives in infamy because he's the one
Mhm.
that got kicked by Anthony Pettis back in WEC in the
Mhm.
Showtime kick, and you see his
Mhm.
hair fall, or
Mhm.
hair fly through that. But it's wild because he is on a 5 fight losing streak, and in
Mhm.
just wrestling. I mean, not just wrestling, but in just combat sports in general, right?
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
fight to win, losing to Marcio Andrade as well as
Mhm.
Edward Najimi, right?
Mhm.
Then he gets KO'd by Michael Chandler, then
Mhm.
uses a unanimous decision to Jason Jackson, and then
Mhm.
loses to Brett Primus, and that but beats Ben Killer B Saunders on UFC Fight Pass Invitational, right?
Mhm.
Prior to that, as wins over Miles the Fury Jury, Adam Piccolotti,
Mhm.
um, Sadawad, Roger
Mhm.
Huerta, beat
Mhm.
AJ Agazam in
Mhm.
Polaris, right?
Mhm.
Grappling, but losing to both Patricky Pitbull and Michael Chandler, but beat Patricio Pitbull, Patricky's brother. And then obviously back in the UFC, beat Jorge Masvidal, pre Street Jesus, been in there with Brandon Thatch, beat him by rear naked choke, lost to Donald Cowboys Aroni, lost to RDA. He's been in there with like some of the best. He's a great himself, one of the all time greats.
Mhm.
But I just feel like the Russian might have his number.
Mm. I think so too, man. Ben Henderson, he reached the mountaintop. Defended several times in the UFC before he left and went for the money.
Yeah,
Uh, the man has had a wonderful career, no blemishes. He passed every drug test. He was smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Respect to him.
yeah,
Right now, he's fighting out the fights in his contract. You know,
yeah.
when you stack up 5 losses and you're still giving more fights, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get their money back. That's pretty much
What
what it is, and
Which
I
I mean,
understand.
to be fair, right? Yes, it's
Mm-hmm,
5 total losses in combat sports, right? But
mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
not exclusive to Bellator because in Bellator he's only lost his last 3 fights, right? And
Okay,
you could make an
let's
argument.
just
I
say
mean,
let's just say 3 fight losing streak then.
right?
You know what I mean? But we got this insane Russian
Yeah,
whose last loss was like his second or third fight, and right now he's 20-1 and one draw.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's on a
yeah,
tear. Ben
yeah.
Henderson lately, Ben Henderson lately, those who have heavy hands, he tends to lose to because he's an older fella now. He's using this more, you know.
Right,
He's
1000%.
weighing it out. He's weighing it out and seeing, this is too dangerous. This is safer, and I'm gonna take the safest route. And when those heavy hitters start hitting, it is what it is. I believe this Russian is gonna be a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
Islam Mamadov. So I'm going with Islam as well. All respect to Ben Henderson. I hope he comes out safe.
yeah.
But I'm still going with Islam on this one.
I I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm a Benson Henderson fan. We've got a
Me
couple
too.
of his figures here. And you know, uh, obviously we wish it could have been better. Um, More story to career. But it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. 100%. But speaking of,
Warriors
it
will
is.
fight.
Yeah.
Warriors will fight. It is what it is. Warriors will fight.
No, 1,000%. 1,000%. But we are at the main event of the evening. We have interim Bellator World Heavyweight Champion. He
Mm-hmm.
is none other than Valentin Moldavsky, right? Valentin, 11-1, right? Been in there and beats Roy Nelson, Tim Johnson, Javi Ayala, Linton Vassell, right? If you're a long time, Bellator fans, you know what fucking Linton Vassell could do. He was literally undefeated up until going against Moldavsky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, are the Samoan brother called Samu Fanufa?
Mm-hmm.
Tufa. Uh, he's been in there. Carl Albrechtsen, who he beat in Risen. Carl
Mm-hmm.
Albrechtsen, for the time that he was in the States, was training with none other than Josh Barnett, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
CMMA crew, right, and the UWF
Mm-hmm.
USA crew. So these are, to me, big wins. So anybody that says, "Oh, he has an interim championship or whatever," that's just because Bader was, defending his light heavyweight championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this guy has beaten some of the best in Russia, his native
Mm-hmm.
Russia, best in
Mm-hmm.
Japan, and the best in Bellator. You
Mm-hmm.
know, now we go over to the UFC and Bellator uh, world champion, current Bellator world champion Ryan Darth Bader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he lost the championship to Corey Anderson, but beat Lyoto Machida. Did a little grappling with Mason Fowler, didn't work out his way. But then he grappled Anthony Rumble Johnson at Submission Underground. That was a little bit better. Vadim Nemikov lost. He gets KO'd. No contest with Czech Congo because he basically poked Czech Congo's eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
KO'd Fedor. I was there. Jesus Christ. I was there with Ryan Lilly when that shit happens. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit. Like I was posting on my phone. And Lilly fucking goes nuts, berserko, and goes like, fuck, Fedor got KO'd. And I look up and Fedor's
Mm-hmm.
just fucking sprawled the fuck out,
Out.
man.
He was
Yeah.
out. We were at
Beaten
that one too. That's the
Yeah,
same one.
absolutely.
That's the
Yeah, that
same
was the same
card.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Henry Corrales and fucking Pico.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man. But fuck, I mean, I can say everything that I want to say about Ryan Bader, and I mean, right after he won the Grand Prix, met up at the hotel and shit like that, and I've got a picture with Bader with both belts, and fuck, Bellator, hey, fucking UFC, you don't have the most good looking belts anymore. Fucking Bellator. Bellator, PFL, those belts are fucking beautiful, right? One
Mm-hmm.
championship, their belt is fucking beautiful. So, but yeah, I have a picture with fucking Bader with both belts and everything. Just absolutely amazing. But as much as I love Ryan Bader, I don't think I mean, he's got he's got a Russian fucking I wouldn't say mercenary, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Valentin is an assassin,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who's beaten everybody except for one blemish
Mm-hmm.
that has come his way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And again,
Mm-hmm.
best in Russia, best in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
Denmark even, because I think that's where Carl Albrechtsen is from. But
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Valentin unifies the titles. And maybe I'm going to say, since this is a 5 round fight, this might be a
Mm-hmm.
third round KO for Valentin.
Ryan Bader will not make it out of the first round.
Really?
He won't make it out of the first round.
Damn, I was trying to fucking give her
The Russian knows. The
propers.
Russian knows. He knows. The Russian knows. The Russian knows. He knows. There's
Jeez.
a certain pressure that, when implied upon Ryan Bader, he folds because
That's
he's a
true too.
smart man. He's a
Yeah.
smart man. That's why his career has been so long. You know, he analyzes rather quickly, and he sees, okay, this is gonna be a threat, so let's shut it down rather early and go home so I can kiss the kids, tuck the kids in, and still be able to do things like that. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to take damage. He is not that guy that will exchange with you. He's quick to take you down and smash you, but
Yeah.
he doesn't like to get hit.
No.
He hates it. He hates getting hit, and I'm not mad at him. Why would you want to get hit? I mean, why would you be okay with getting hit? That's the rationale, right? So,
Right.
Valentine, on the other hand, he knows this. So he's going to bring the pressure. I don't think Beta makes it out of first.
Well, you make a very compelling argument, and especially based on what we see, Bader's almost getting not as bad as Bob Sapp, but when the fight can go and get stuff, fucking cash them fucking checks, So I don't know. I'm still excited to see what all this entire card. Again, we're without a UFC this weekend. That will recommence or reconvene rather next week. But we got fucking Bellator on Saturday, Royal Rumble on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mild.
Whoa. Are you sure Royal Rumble is not on Saturday? I
I
think it's Saturday.
Is it on Saturday?
I believe so. I
Please don't
believe
make me
so.
fucking pick because I'm
Make sure
picking
you look
Bellator.
into that. Make sure you look into that. Look into that.
Royal, let me see. Rumble 2022. Royal Rumble. Let's see. I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to misspeak. And yes, how to say that you're not watching as much WWE without saying it? That's I fucking showed my cards. The WWE lately is unwatchable. Hey, if you want a fucking good fucking wrestling show, go on fucking Fight TV. Just search up GCW. Any fucking shit that they got, GCW is way better. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. They do fucking Effie's Big Gay Brunch. They do Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. They do Joey Janela's Spring Break. If you're a wrestling, if you like deathmatch shit, if you like fucking pure ass pro wrestling,
explosion match.
Not so much explosion, but definitely the barbed wires and light tubes and shit like that. They got you covered. Some of the best women's wrestlers go through. Then and they, fucking Jeff Jarrett just did a run in GCW. So it's fucking GCW is awesome. And you're right. Yes, it is this Saturday. So I'm fucking watching Bellator first, and then I'm gonna watch this fucking mild ass Royal Rumble. The only thing that I'm actually excited for is obviously Mickey James, who was fired from the WWE or released, as they say, and they stuffed all of her fucking gear in a trash bag and sent it to her house. But she's the reigning Impact Wrestling world women's champion, right? The Knockouts world champion, right? She's in there as well as fucking Johnny Knoxville. So I know there's going to be a comedy spot, but I love fucking Jackass, so fuck yeah, bring it on, man. So we got we got both things. We got Bellator, you got WWE on Peacock and Showtime respectively. So go ahead and fucking have fun. And Takeya says, hey guys, I will see you next Thursday because I'm going to sleep, and have a wonderful night, y'all. Good night, guys. Good night to all you guys. Yes, you guys are awesome. Have a fucking great weekend. Watch some fights, and then when you get done watching fights or the pro wrestling and what have you, come back here Sunday, and we'll wrap all this shit up in another amazing Voodoo in the Woods. You guys, we are out.